Hello, my name is Warda Wafa binti Mubarak. My metric number is 30147. Today, I will be speaking about a major ethical and professional scandal in the auditing world, the Wirecard AG case. In 2020, Wirecard AG, a prominent German fintech company, collapsed after it was revealed that 1.9 billion in trusted accounts supposedly held in the Philippines. It's never exists. This shocking discovery not only led to bankruptcy but also exposed significant ethical failure by its longtime auditor, Ernst and Young, or we know as EY. Auditors are expected to act independently, uphold professional skepticism, and follow standards like the international standard on auditing. However, EY failed on the front, relying on unverified third-party documents rather than independently confirming the company cash balance with bank. This lack of due diligence was a clear breach of their ethical obligation. The scandal raised concern about the close ties between auditor and clients and whether such relationship compromised objective. It also revealed weakness in regulatory oversight, particularly with Germany's financial authority, BaFin, which ignored early warning from journalists. From this case, we learn valuable lesson. Mandatory audit firm rotation can reduce familiarity risk. Regulator must enhance oversight, and auditor could be trained better in fraud detection and ethical judgment. Transparency in audit report can also rebuild public trust.
Hello, my name is Fahmiro Hakimi bin Ranawi, metric number 301013. I will talk about the elements affecting the audit quality performed by Ernst and Young for Wirecard. The first element is auditor independence. EY had audited for Wirecard for over a decade. They formed an auditor-client relationship over that period of time. The second element is professional skepticism. EY chose to use the documents and screenshots provided by third party for the auditing of Wirecard rather than trying to verify the cash balances with the related banks themselves. The third element is audit documentation and information gathering. EY did not try to gather evidence by themselves and instead relied on third party for their audit. The fourth element is external pressures. BaFin, the German regulator, actively sided with Wirecard against the critics, which resulted in a weak external pressures for EY's audit teams to perform. Next is competency and due care. EY's audit team either lacks the competence to objectively view Wirecard's complex operation or they didn't exercise due care for handling visible problems in Wirecard's activity. The last element is management integrity and fraud risk. Wirecard COO at the time had a history of using aggressive legal tactics, which is a potential sign of low integrity. EY's audit team, however, did not adjust their audit approach to account for this risk.
Let's move on to the analysis. I will explain audit quality. In the Wirecard scandal, audit quality was seriously affected due to several major failures by the auditors. One of the biggest issues was the failure to confirm the existence of 1.9 billion euro in the bank accounts. This is a very basic audit procedure, but the auditors trusted document given by management instead of checking directly with the bank. They also ignore red flags raised by journalists and whistleblowers, which show that they lack professional skepticism, a key part of a high quality audit. In addition, the auditors relied too much on what the management said without enough evidence. They didn't test the internal controls properly, especially for high-risk areas like third-party transactions. All these weaknesses caused the audit to miss signs of fraud, and it damaged the trust people have in the audit profession. This case teaches us that good audit quality needs strong procedures, critical thinking, and full independence from the company being audited. That's all for me. Thank you.
Going to talk about auditor liability and how the Wirecard scandal show what can happen to when auditors don't do their job properly. First, what is auditor liability? Auditor liability means that auditors can be held responsible if they fail to detect big mistake or fraud in a company's financial statements. This can lead to civil lawsuit from investor or companies, criminal charges if fraud is involved, or professional punishment like losing their license. Next, let's talk about EY's failure in auditing. EY's audit failure was the result of a long-term breakdown in diligence, independence, and skepticism. They failed to apply professional skepticism, choosing to trust the management and third parties' documents even when there are clear red flags like whistleblower allegations, critical media coverage, and suspicious activities in overseas operations. Despite repeating warning signs, EY didn't reassess the audit risk or adjust their procedures, which shows a serious failure to fulfill their core duty as independent auditors. Maintaining auditor independence is essential to ensure objectivity and trust. But in EY's case, their 10 years relationship with Wirecuts likely compromised with that independence. Over time, familiarity may have turned into bias, making it harder for them to question what they were being told. Without regular auditor rotations, no fresh eye ever revealed Wirecuts' complex and increasingly untransparency operations, leading to a failure in professional judgment. Besides that, EY's failure to address Wirecut's high-risk structure was a critical audit weakness. Wirecut operates through a web of third-party accruals, especially in Asia, making its transaction difficult to trace. In such a high-risk and untransparency environment, auditors are expected to increase their scrutiny. But EY failed to verify key transactions or adapt their procedure to the complexity of Wirecut's global operations. Last but not the least, EY's failure to respond to clear risk signals highlights a serious breakdown in professional responsibility. Even after KPMG's special audit in 2020 raised strong doubts about Wirecut's report profits, EY didn't reassess their positions. Instead, they continue preparing to issue a clean audit opinion right up until the company collapsed. This shows not just poor judgment, but a clear failure to act in the public interest when new and credible evidence emerge.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Hassan. My matrix number is 297272. So today I'll be sharing about 4 key recommendations to improve the audit quality and reduce auditors' liability from the Wirecut scandal. So firstly, we have to have compulsory audit rotation every 5 to 10 years. Wirecut had the same auditor, EY, for over a decade. This long-term relationship reduced professional skepticism. So secondly, we must have third-party bank confirmations through secure and centralized platforms like confirmation.com. This should be mandatory. In Wirecut's case, EY relied on documents from the company rather than verifying the 1.9 billion revenue directly with the bank. Thirdly, we must implement forensic styles audits for high-risk or fast-growing firms. These audits go beyond standards procedure by analyzing payment trails and also identifying suspicious patterns. So study shows that fraud is detected faster up to 50% in this style of audit. And lastly, we have to reform the auditor's liability framework. Not all mistakes are equal. Gross negligence should carry strict penalties, while minor errors should have capped liability. This will make sure auditors are able to carry sufficient professionalism and have insurance for both accountability and protection. That is all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ang Yun Wei and my matrix number is 297768. So I will not talk about the conclusion part. There are two major contributors to impact the audit quality of Wirecut AG. The first one is the team just perform basic audit procedures. Second, there are lack of professional skepticism. Both of these two elements are the necessaries to the quality of auditing. For the auditor liability, the significant reason why EY audits failures is due to a long-term breakdown in diligence, independence and skepticism. They do not show professionals toward their field and being concerned globally after the 2020 scandals. So to improve the audit quality and reduce auditor liability, there are 4 recommendations, which is applying compulsory audit rotation of the company, which means change the audit firm by maybe 5 to 10 years. Second, third-party bank confirmation via centralized platform to have a better true evidence and verification. Then, enhance forensic auditing protocol to have better detection of fraud, scamming, and errors. Lastly, improve insurance and the auditor liability framework to reduce the carelessness of the auditors by strengthen their responsibility. That's all. Thank you.